Hi, it's Steven Molnar here, and I'm here with Conrad Bobolak, who's the CEO and founder of Investors Prime. Conrad, I want to ask an important question. For some people, why isn't information enough?
I think, look, from a high-level perspective, information should be enough. The problem is that there's so much information out there, and especially if you're starting out in something for the first time, especially in real estate, it's almost overwhelming, the amount of information and different opinions that exist in this industry. You know, there's a saying that a day with an educated person is the equivalent of a whole year by an individual in the library.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason humanity has advanced is because people leverage from other people's experience. You know, so
That's
I think
how science has grown. Yeah.
absolutely. You know, there's no point reinventing the wheel. So I think the key is if someone's starting out for the first time and they've got all this information accessible, and now it's really online, it's been amazing. I mean, compared to 20 years ago, I mean, we're talking about pre-dial-up internet connection.
Yes.
You know,
Like the page slowly updating.
now it's like it's all there. The problem now is that there's too much of it, and you can spend a whole year or 2 years just reading and trying to, you know, digest all the information out there and see what's relevant to you. In the meanwhile, the whole market's moving, you know, and you've missed out on all these opportunities. So I think the key is if you can find someone like a mentor or another investor that has done exactly what you wanted to achieve already, and they can guide you through the whole process, and you can leverage off their experience and their years in the trenches, that's going to save you a lot of time and money. You know, so number one, I think that's the key thing. And I think for most people, the problem is, who do you trust? Who do you go to for advice? Most people take advice from their friends and family that are completely uninformed and have no results. You know, I often say, you know, in cheek, if your neighbour's such an expert, what is he doing living next to you? You know, so the key is that I know a lot of successful property investors. I know people with 20, 30, 40 properties in their property portfolio. The problem is they don't want to teach anyone because they're too busy being down Chapel Street, sipping cappuccinos and looking at the Ferrari. They couldn't give a stuff about teaching people how to achieve wealth. You know, they don't do courses. They don't want to teach people, and they're too busy just living life. I know a lot of developers that are very successful. In fact, some of the developers that I've been working with through Investors Prime Real Estate have done over 150 developments over the last 30 years. They're multimillionaires. The problem is, you know, they don't want to teach people how to do it. They don't want to create their own competition. They've got no incentive to teach someone and take a whole week out of their life to teach someone how to do a development where they could just do one themselves and make their money. So going back to the original question, information by itself, in most cases, will just result in information overload and some level of paralysis.
Yeah, so analysis paralysis.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and I've met some really smart investors starting out for the first time. You know, I've met scientists, maths teachers. You know, one of my clients, for example, is he teaches stats at uni. Now, you'd think because a lot of real estate is around, you know, stats and number crunching, you would think that person would just dive straight in and within a few months he'll start building his property portfolio. This guy was analysing data for 3 years without taking any action.
And what's the market done in 3 years?
The market went up and up and up.
Yeah.
And all the opportunities that he was looking at 3 years before, he missed out on.
Right.
So I think the key is, yes, definitely information is good. Knowing what information to tap into is key. And the other thing is getting a person like a mentor or someone that can cut through all the white noise and then actually help you to get started, and then you can learn along the way. And that's really the key. You know, Warren Buffett says the most important thing about investing is to get started.
Absolutely, yeah.
And most people never start, or they start too late. And I think that's the reality. So if you're just relying on information out there, you've got a really hard journey ahead of you. You've got to get someone that can work with you, that can actually cut through all the white noise, identify what's relevant to your situation, and help you develop a specific plan.
Yeah, to accelerate you to the result.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's great.
That's the best advice I can give someone.
All right, wonderful. Thanks so much for that, Conrad.